In this video, we're gonna be covering some major NFT news, some up and coming projects you gotta keep an eye out for, as well as special updates on some of our favorite projects. And before we go ahead and get started, make sure to follow me on Twitter and join our Discord to get the latest alpha. And by the way, we are almost at 10,000 subscribers, so if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button and let's get it all the way to 10K. So the first thing we're gonna look at is kind of taking a look at the market sentiment when it comes to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the other altcoins. And as you can see, Ethereum is 2.9K right now, and basically all of the coins are essentially dumping, and even all of the alternative coins are dumping hard as well. And you have to understand that this is really normal. Cycles can go up, it can go down, but overall you want to look at the long trend and see whether or not it's going to move up or down. Perfectly normal for the markets to go up and down. Just want to put that out there. And because of this, at the same time, the market isn't as confident in NFTs as it was, let's say, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, right? And so a lot of people are a little more skeptical when it comes to minting. There's not a lot of volume moving around in NFT markets as there were before, so don't expect things to go crazy as easily as they did during a bull run. But the first news which is bullish on the market overall when we're looking at the long-term horizon, and I'm talking like 6 months to 1 year, 2 years, that is Sony and Lego are investing $2 billion into the Metaverse with Epic Games. So essentially Sony is putting in $1 billion, Lego is putting in another $1 billion, and they are going to work with Epic Games to start building out the Metaverse ecosystem within Epic Games for kids, essentially, right? And if you don't know Epic Games, they are the game creators of Fortnite, Rocket League, Unreal Tournament now, World Z. Epic Games also owns Unreal Engine as well, which a lot of people use to make video games. So Epic Games is a huge company, and it's crazy that Lego and Sony are collaborating to build this ecosystem with Epic Games. This is really bullish because we're seeing like all these mainstream AAA studios coming into the NFT space. So not only are you gonna get the best of the best developers, the best of the best like graphics, gameplay, the best minds coming into the NFT space, it's all gonna be on a blockchain, right? And so there's gonna be like those play to earn mechanics, and essentially NFTs will eventually become mainstream in the future. And if you kind of look at the sentiment of the market right now, anybody right now can be an indie developer and come in and make an NFT game and literally make millions. But once these AAA games start to come in, you're not gonna trust a random developer anymore. You would rather trust, let's say, Epic Games a lot more than you would this anonymous guy on the internet. So pretty bullish for the space overall, especially when it comes to attracting mainstream adoption. And in other news, Bored Ape Yacht Club has recently just announced that they are collaborating with Coinbase to make a feature film with the Bored Ape Yacht Club IP. And so what they're doing right now is you can submit your ape for casting, and I guess if you own a certain ape, you cast it like you would an actor, and if that person or that ape makes it into the movie, then maybe you get some kind of royalty from that or some kind of payment. So it's quite interesting that you can do that. It looks like there's gonna be a collaboration with Coinbase, ApeCoin, and Bored Ape Yacht Club. And apparently this film is going to premiere in June. And as you know, it's April, so April, May, June. So somehow they're gonna create, it's probably gonna be like a short little thing, not necessarily like a 1 hour movie, but they're gonna create it in 3 months essentially because they're barely starting to cast, right? So I would expect it to be like a 5-minute film, 10-minute film that they can show at NFT NYC or something like that. I think overall, when you look at the Bored Ape ecosystem, this makes me a little bit more bullish on them like in the long term, because not a lot of these companies can collaborate with Coinbase to create like a feature film, right? And basically whoever can get the most mindshare, whoever can onboard the newest members into their ecosystem, those are likely going to be the next IPs of the next generation, right? I'm talking like, let's say the next like Mega Man, the next Mario, the next Hello Kitty, and then the ones that are able to hit that mainstream adoption and really hit that nerve, those are the ones that are really gonna make it. And not only that, but Bored Ape is also going to be collaborating with Superplastics. So it seems like it's going to be a vinyl toy that people can buy. I'm not sure if it's going to be only available for Bored Ape holders or if the public can get it, but that's a nice twist on taking a digital NFT and turning it into something physical that you can literally have in your house. Now, speaking of large games, we said that Epic Games, is putting in a lot of money to build the Metaverse, but not only is Epic Games doing it, but SEGA, it announced this Super game and plans to release games that have NFT functionality. Now, it's not clear if Super game is going to be like one game that incorporates an NFT or if it's going to be a whole collection and series of games that incorporate NFTs. But either way, they are definitely spending a lot of money and energy into incorporating NFTs into their games. Now, SEGA's biggest IP is going to be Sonic, right? Sonic the Hedgehog, which is a huge series in itself. So it's going to be really interesting if they are able to incorporate NFTs into a game like Sonic. And in the future, my guess, let's say like 5 years from now, like NFTs will probably just be like as normal as you would buy like an in-game purchase, like a skin. So overall, again, like this is just another bullish sign that a lot of these large companies are incorporating NFTs into their future strategies. We've been talking a lot about large companies entering the space, but let's talk about some new mints that you can look out for. So a project that I recently discovered is going to be Lonelypop. And as you can see, the art for Lonelypop is pretty good. It hits like this anime kind of vibe, but it has this very unique style, which is created by this person named Noena, I believe. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but essentially this is an artist that has been doing art art for quite a while. And this person partnered up with a studio called 0x Studios, and how they describe themselves is artist first, Web3 as a service, last. That's a new term I never heard of, but it's a studio that helps other companies build their projects. So my guess is that this studio is kind of like almost like an incubator or a launchpad. And what they seem to be doing is they're finding these artists that have some kind of unique art, and they're creating an NFT project with that artist. And I suppose they own a percentage of that project for doing all the back end and marketing and those kind of work. So our services, smart contract and end solutions, tokenomics, so basically a lot of different services in the NFT space. And one of the projects that they worked with in the past is going to be Blanders or Threelanders. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's one or the other. I'm just gonna call it Blanders for this video. If I'm wrong, go ahead and correct me. But if you remember, Blanders actually came out with a project and it basically was a hit. The floor is 1.85, so it's pretty solid for basically an art specific project. I suppose they're about to do it again with this other project, Lonelypop. In my opinion, Lonelypop does have the aesthetic to sell. And if they say like, hey, everybody that holds a Blander can get a whitelist for Lonelypop, then I'm pretty sure Lonelypop is gonna mint out, in one day. So this is definitely a project that you want to look out for because they already built a hype and basically they're running that model. It's very similar to the random character collective model where this is going to be a collective of artists and they basically keep launching NFTs like Sim Hoods, Mood Roller, Invisible Friends, and then Garbage Pile is gonna be the next one. So it's kind of like art first, it looks cool, it catches attention. Not really sure what the utility is going to be or if it even matters if there needs to be a utility, right? That's always the risk that you take with these kind of projects. And they create one project, it's hype, they create another project, it's hype, they create another project, it's hype, and they find more artists to keep doing that. Is it sustainable in the long term? I'm not really sure because it depends on what the project is. Every project is gonna be different, but I can see that 0x Studios is kind of running the similar model as Random Character Collective. It works, it builds hype, people make a lot of money. Can it sustain forever? That remains to be seen, but if you're looking for short-term profits, I would definitely keep your eye on this. Now in other news, I wanna talk about Kaiju Kingz real quick, and as you know, the floor has been dropping. The floor right now is 4.2 at the time of this recording, and literally just like 3 weeks ago or something like that, the floor was 7, right? And so overall, a lot of play-to-earn games that has the 2D, like 90s style, like Cyberkongs and Kaiju Kingz, they have been, the floor price has been dropping quite significantly, and that's, for a lot of reasons like competition, people aren't interested, there was hype before, then maybe now it's time to deliver. And I think one thing that really hit the floor price, and I'm not saying it's a bad project, I still think Kaiju Kingz is cool, but they recently put out this letter. It's pretty long, but let me just long story short. They promised a lot of things like, launching like a new NFT, like the Mad Scientist, launching a play-to-earn game. They're gonna have like Monster, and they're gonna do a new token. And we talked about this before, where they had like these crazy graphs and stuff. And it seems like they're going to delay this process because they realize how difficult it actually is to build all these things and to do it to a certain standard that they're comfortable with, right? And in some ways, some people might see this as bearish for the project because they're like, oh, they said all these things, but now they're taking a long time. But in reality, when you're looking at the long term, it actually is pretty bullish because they could just push out all this stuff really fast and it's not really that good, not well thought out, economics doesn't make sense, but token's a token, right? They could do that and pump up the floor price temporarily, but they decided to take a step back and reflect on what they're really doing and actually plan out something for the long term. I respect that, right? The floor price might take a hit because of that, but in the long term, I think they have a better chance of making it. Now, I wanna compare this to other projects who, basically do the opposite, right? And, without naming any projects, we've seen other projects where, they just launch and then they have like the first gen, which doesn't really look that good. And then they're like, all right, we're gonna do Gen 2 now. And then we're gonna have this token. Then we're gonna have a marketplace. And then we're gonna do this and that. And then we're gonna have another NFT that you can buy. And they just add layers and layers and layers. And the problem with that is like, because they're doing it so fast and it's not really well thought out, it's almost like they're just copy and pasting a marketplace code or something and putting it on their website, probably using the same agency as everybody else. And that's really dangerous because when you really think about tokenomics, a lot of these projects aren't even thinking about how that works and how they can actually sustain the price of their token. They just kind of put it out so that they can pump up the floor price temporarily, but they're not really concerned on what's gonna happen 1 year from now. And if they're not concerned in the long-term future, then a lot of people are gonna lose a lot of money because they're gonna buy at a high price. So because Kaiju Kingz realized that they want to be a long-term project, by taking longer, they actually increase the possibility of them becoming more successful in the long term, which is ultimately what a project owner would want. This is just my personal take and you don't have to believe it or not, but if somebody launches 10 different, 3 different tokens at the same time, and then they launch Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 within 2 months, and then they launch a marketplace, and then they keep stacking on the value, it's not really valuable if it's worth nothing, right? And a lot of times people will kind of make it seem like they're doing a lot in building, but really they're not. They're really just hiring an agency, paying them like, you know, 10K, 20K, 30K to like build this stuff and copy and paste other people's code, put it together, make it look like it's something, but you know, it's kind of like a house of cards in a sense that can break at any time because it's not that well thought out. So that's something I kind of want to pass on to you guys, because there's going to be a lot of projects that gain a lot of momentum really quick, and they can drop that momentum extremely quick as well. So always be careful on your exit and entry. And if you see those signs and you feel like it's topish, sometimes it's okay time to sell. You know, sometimes it's okay to take profit, because a lot of these projects, they don't go up forever. So in other news, right before I filmed this video, I actually did an AMA with Bushido, who is the founder of BF Party on Twitter Spaces. So if you were able to join, great. If not, totally cool. But I want to talk about BF Party real quick, and I want to talk about like, you know, long term of like what play to earn looks like. So basically there's a trend going on right now, and it's not like super hype, but a lot of people are buying into it, and that's like play to earn. The thing you have to understand about play to earn is a majority of these projects that are coming out are almost like casinos. All right, this is very important for you guys to understand. So how it works is that a person creates a project, it comes out, and then you have opportunity to buy an NFT to play in this casino. And you're basically playing against other people, and you're trying to take their money, because majority, like 9 out of 10, or I would even say 99% of these games are gonna die within like 6 months to 1 year, or even sooner, possibly even sooner. So with play to earn, you have to really be careful, because it's literally almost like a casino. The NFT project owners are the casino house. They create it, they get a cut of everything, they make millions because you buy their NFTs, and then you get an opportunity to gamble against another person and take their money. And a lot of times it's the people at the top 10% that take the money, and the 90% of the people are going to lose money, and that is the game. So be very careful about any play to earn game, because you're literally entering a casino. Now, other games, like I would say BF Party and even Imposters by Ilio Trades, their model is a little different from these like casino type of game mechanic, where they're actually free to play. BF Party is going to be a free to play game similar to like Dota 2 or League of Legends, where anybody can jump in, and then the play to earn aspect really comes from your ability to earn skins in the game and sell that on a marketplace if you chose to do so. And if you know anything about like Dota, for example, you can earn skins, you can pay for them, earn it, whatever, but you can also sell it on the marketplace and make money if those skins increase in value. So one of the main things I took away with the AMA with Bushido for BF Party is that I feel like the games are actually going to be successful. First, make a good game that people want to play, but second, onboard new people who don't even know what an NFT is, and you know, they can just jump in because their friend showed them the link, right? And so BF Party is going to be like a browser game that anybody can play. You don't really need to have an NFT to get started, and that's very powerful, because these other games require you to spend like 1 Ethereum or like 0.5 Ethereum just to get started, and then they're like, but if you really want to win, you got to spend like 5 Ethereum, right? And it's like this really type of gambling game where you got to put a lot of chips on the table. So I respect, you know, a lot of these games that have free to play elements, because in the short term, it doesn't make as much profit as you could if you just charge everyone a bunch of money, right? In the long term, if you're able to onboard new people into the ecosystem, then, you know, that's where you really build like a larger company. Because if you think about the long term, like if you think about this, like you have like Epic Games and SEGA putting in billions of dollars, and the brightest minds that they have making these games. So like, you know, 2 years from now, you're gonna have to compete against Epic Games, and all these indie games are gonna get crushed, most likely. You know, there probably will be niches where they can survive, but the majority will get crushed. And so the game designers of these PDE, like these really trashy games that terrible graphic, terrible UI, copy and paste code, like they're just running these opportunities while they can to make millions off your back, essentially, and allow you to play this gambling game. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to gamble, go ahead and gamble, but that's what it is. And I would say like 1 or 2 years from now, this opportunity won't exist for them. So you want to look for, if you're looking for like long-term projects where, you know, you're gonna hold it for like a year or two, you want to look at the games that can actually onboard new users, and that's extremely important, and that's a lesson that I'm going to take moving forward. And so with that said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to follow me on Twitter at Patrick Dang, join our Discord to get the latest alpha and learn about our new NFT project coming out. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one.